I feel so like nervous giving this message because it's for a specific group of people, y'all. It's for a specific group of people. And I want to make sure that my phone records all of this because for the past couple of days, I have been getting some good messages and I've been recording them. But when I'm ready to go, edit the video, it just completely deletes. And I really don't want this message to delete. So, Spirit, please protect this message because this is for a specific group of people. And I'm actually really nervous giving this message because I want to make sure, and that's another thing too. This is about trusting yourself. This is about trusting yourself. Oh my goodness. This is for my entrepreneurs. This is for people that are being called to get paid for their talents, for their gifts, for their ambitions, for their passions, to get paid to exist. Content creators, musicians, readers, spiritualists, whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever you do. You make clothes, you're an artist, you paint, you make jewelry, whatever you do. This is what you have been being called to focus your energy on. And I feel like this you have to defend your beliefs. You have to stay ambitious. You are so driven to succeed. The sun is coming out more. You believe yourself so much that it doesn't matter what happens, you're still going to do it. And at times, things get hard and it challenges you. And it challenges you to make you feel like you want to go back. Some of you do go back and you are supposed to. Others of you, you're not supposed to. This is for the ones that's not supposed to. It's so much and I have to take my time. Like I keep telling myself, take my time. I don't have to rush. Because it's like, in my mind, it's so much that wants to be said. Major introspection, following your inner light, following your inner guidance, trusting yourself. That's what I said this whole message is about. Trusting yourself. And trusting Source and the divine and your power. And that you are being guided. Even through the hardships, the worries, the doubts, there are things that you need. And I was talking about this on live. How when you work for God and when you are in your purpose and God provides for you, you always have what you need. And it's always right on time. And it's rarely more. You know what I mean? But that in itself is abundance. And when you are working for Spirit, when you work for God and you allow God to carry you, it's like, it's so much, y'all. When God calls you to work for Him, because that business is not yours, it's His. That means that you are now a vessel that God is working through to create that financial security that you need. And when God is taking care of you, God moves on divine timing. And in this world, everything is fast-paced. But when you think of God, God is not a man of rush or woman of rush or source. Let's just say source. Let's just say the divine. But I like to use God because it's just so known, you know? Everybody kind of knows what God is, who God is to them. And for me, God is within me. God is love, everything, right? And so it's like, when those doubts and worries and it's so much. I'm about to like cry, y'all. It's so much because it's like I want to scream. Like, when you move on God's timing, everything in this world is rushed. Everything is fast paced. So there's a time you got to pay this by this date. You got to do this by this date. You got to do that by this date. And so it puts you in a panic mode because it starts to become a lot. It starts to become burden. And then when the money is not flowing in how it needs to be, especially when you're an entrepreneur, because you have up and down seasons. One minute you could be doing good, the next minute you won't be doing good. So it's like now you start feeling like you got to take things into your own hand. But in this season, God is teaching us how to, God has put us to our breaking point. And I'm talking to entrepreneurs. Again, this is a message for entrepreneurs. And you're being called to do things the opposite way that other people are being called to do things. You don't understand why you're being called to do it like this, but you know that it's going to work. You're being called to do it like this because you're supposed to do it like this. And it's so uncomfortable. And like the feeling that I'm getting, y'all, is like, it's all right here in the throat chakra. Like, speaking, your throat, your heart, like this is, I feel like it's security. That's what I feel like. When the money's not coming in how you thought it was going to be, you start feeling like, you start getting this conflicted energy, and you start feeling like you got to do things that you don't want to do. You start feeling like you got to go back to doing things that you have outgrown, like going to go get a job, or like, maybe even having to like move back home, doing something that just really makes you uncomfortable, something that you just don't want to do, something that you don't want to do because you have outgrown it, and you would feel like going back there will be shrinking you, and you are too big for that now, right? And I feel like in that season, it's not to make you were never meant to go back to that. It was really to shift your mindset. It's like you always go back to this Knight of Swords energy, being ambitious and action oriented and just driven to succeed and defending your beliefs, right? Even through the financial loss, even when things are moving slow. It's like the message that I said today on live was, when you're an entrepreneur and you know that you are showing up how you always shown up, and you are putting your best foot forward, but business is still moving slow, in those seasons, that's when you allow God to come in and carry you. And it was just 8. So abundance, that's when you allow the universe, Mother Earth, divine source to carry you. And it's about your self-confidence. You have to be confident in who you are, being sure of yourself, that you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And even while you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, things are still not happening. That's how you know that it's divinely orchestrated. That means that I need to sit down and surrender. So some of you guys, I feel like, are going through that, where you started to do some introspection. You started to do some inner work. And I feel like somebody switched that conflict into like curiosity. You started being like, you know what? It got to be a reason why this is not working. For me, I thought that I was supposed to go back to work. And I was supposed to shift my mindset about going back to work, because I looked at as going back to work as being a burden. Whereas it was like, when you're a full-time entrepreneur, sometimes you have to go and pick up a part-time job. But I needed to shift my mindset as it was going to be a burden to this is a blessing, because it's helping me to maintain something that I love. You know what I'm saying? Bills and things like that. And so once I shifted my perspective, I went and I filled out so many different applications, y'all. I didn't call places and everything, and nothing was coming through for me. I got an email yesterday. I was so excited, and it just so happened that the email was telling them that I didn't get the job. And so I'm like, okay, and I was very discouraged. Like, I was very like disappointed, let's say that. Not discouraged, but disappointed, because there was a job that I really wanted and I didn't get it. And I started to look at it as, you know what? God is blocking that. I was never supposed to go back to getting a job. My test was looking at going back to work as a blessing if I had to. And now that I shift my perspective, I don't have to. It's like, and it's no coincidence that as soon as I started to shift my perspective and I'm like, okay, while I'm waiting for these jobs, I'm going to get back to doing my readings, because I was in a season, like, what I'm learning is when you're working for spirit, you're working for God, you move on divine timing. You don't move. When you work for the 3D matrix jobs, when you work for the people of this world, which is okay, they don't prioritize your well-being or how you feel. When you work for Source and God, it's purpose over paycheck. Okay? So even if the bills are stacking up or you got so many different things to handle, God is only going to come through for what's important, which is your day-to-day needs. And us as humans, we want to be responsible. And when other things are not, when we're in this energy where we feel like we're lacking something, or we're in financial loss, or we're having a lack mindset, or we feel like we don't have everything that we need, we start to create conflict for ourselves. But I feel like the entrepreneurs, when business is slow, go into an introspection. It's almost like faith is the foundation, not the fallback, okay? And Spirit has taught us how to have faith. Faith is the belief. Certainty is the knowing. We have to be certain that no matter what season that we are in, we are carried and we are taken care of. We're about to start pulling some cards from Heaven's Blueprints, because this is perfect for this reading. This is a lot. But it was like, as I was waiting for a job to come through, which I still have a few jobs that might still come through, I was like, I'm going to start going live again, because I was getting back to, thank you, Spirit, they're bringing me back to what I was talking about. When you work for other people in this world, it's about money. They got to get their money. So they're not really worried about how you feel. You know what I mean? Even when you don't feel like getting up and going to work, you still got to get up and go to work, because you got to pay these bills. When you work for God and you're it's purpose over paycheck, and you're going to get paid from your purpose, you're not allowed to get up and do it from hustle or struggle or lack or desperation. It's been so many times where I wanted to get up and go live and do readings and things like that, and I would try to get up, and I definitely couldn't go live, but the most I could probably do was 2 to 3 videos, and my body just completely was like, no. But it's like, from the rip, I was never supposed to be doing anything. They told me to sit down, but in my head, I'm like, I got to get up and do readings, because I got to get this money to pay these bills. We're not worried about the bills. We're worried about you. Sit down and watch TV. And I really had to sit down and watch TV and relax. They prioritize me. They prioritize, because when you work for God, you are a vessel and God works through you. This is so deep and so beautiful. You are the abundance. The money comes to you when you just be you, because you are in alignment with the 10 of Pentacles. You are the 10 of Pentacles. And it's almost like you went through a major transformation through this hardship, through this feeling like you don't have enough. You started to realize it's almost your confidence. They said show up with excellence, even in the waiting room, even in the in-between. While you're still waiting on that blessing, still show up like it's already taken care of. And they've been saying this all week long. They're giving us permission to walk around and act like our problems are already handled, because they are. And they're saying to thank God for handling the problems while still asking God to handle the problems, and walk like it's already handled, because that's the energy and frequency of abundance. That's you making room for miracles and breakthroughs. You were being taught how to walk by faith, not by PayPal. Exactly. You're being taught to walk by knowing. Okay? Inner knowing. Clarity comes in stillness. You have to be still. When you are still, that's the energy of receiving. What you give your energy to, that's what you invest in. This or your job is divine training for your calling. This job is divine training for your calling. Your job is divine training for your calling. Whatever you do. And like I said, I'm talking to the entrepreneurs. If you work for another job and you have your own side business, I got a couple cards that I want to pull for us. I feel like your side job is about to become your main job, and your main job about to become your side job. You underwent a major transformation, a major metamorphosis. You being down and feeling like you didn't have enough just made you to be even, it made your faith even stronger, because it's like, when you know that you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, I'm filling out these applications. I'm doing my part. I'm showing up. That, and then God still not letting me get the job. That means that God said that, look, you are allowed to outgrow what once sustained you. I'm allowed to outgrow. Exactly. And God said, and that's, they're honoring that. You are allowed to outgrow with what once sustained you. But we will test you to see if you're willing to go back to doing that if you had to. We're testing your sacrifice to see if you are willing. And because you are willing now, you don't have to do it. Because you did it from a place of love. You looked at it from a different perspective. They made me change my perspective. Like I said, I looked at a job as a burden. But now I looked at it as a blessing. They said, now do your job. And it's so funny because, okay, damn, this was good. This was good. This is for me, y'all. This was somebody else. But if you're anything like me and you are a reader, you do reading stuff like that. And when it comes to this, they said the algorithm bows to alignment. A lot of this is post the content. A lot of this is about you moving when spirit says so, not when you want to. It's not about hustle. It's about alignment. It's not about grinding, but aligning. It's not about like going. It's about flowing. We're not on go. We're on flow. Ease. We make money with ease. This is crazy. And that means that on divine timing, things are going to, it's illusions. The bills are going to look like they're not getting paid. The things are going to look like they're stacking up. It's going to look like you're not taking care of your responsibilities, but you are. Spirit is going to give you enough for what they think is important. If you need money for toiletries and food and, you know what I mean? If you want to get a new job and you need money for Ubers because you don't drive, or you need money for gas, they're going to take care of those needs. They're going to have somebody bless you with exactly what you need if you're an entrepreneur. And they're going to worry about the bills when the bills is worried about. They're like, are you kicked out? It's like, we're going to take care of that. But right now we're worried about this. We're worried about what you need on a day-to-day basis. That's how God moves. They said, this is just a pit stop, not your purpose. This is where you are right now is, like they said, divine training for your purpose. The things that you go through is just a part of your testimony so that you can be relatable. You are in this world, not of this world. You are a little earth angel. And if you're an earth angel, you were sent down here to go through the experiences of people that are of this world or that are in this world, to let them know and show them that it doesn't matter where you come from or what you go through, you can get through it. You were meant to go through certain things in your life to overcome it, to be an inspiration, to show others that it can be done. And the path that you're walking is so unorthodox. Look, blessings are on the way. Let your next job serve your next level. That's another thing too. If the job doesn't align with who you truly are, Spirit is not going to allow you to sacrifice yourself. If you're just filling out jobs just to get a job, that's out of desperation and you're sacrificing. Like, Spirit is not letting you to go back to anything that does not resonate with your peace and who you truly are. Money is coming right in time. You'll have what you need. Go crazy with your content. Post the content. This is for an entrepreneur, a content creator, a person that makes their money over social media. Wow. Do not go back to that 3D matrix job. Do not go back to work with someone else. That's so crazy because I said it's for an entrepreneur. I kept saying it. And then 9. I keep seeing it. The big messages ends on 8, abundance, 9, completion. Everything flows when you believe you are worthy. Protect your energy like it's currency, because it is. At this time, it says you are amazingly and unique. You are amazing and uniquely beautiful. Wow. That's beautiful. This is so deep. You are becoming the 10 of Pentacles. You are no longer going and doing things the way that you're going against society and its rules. And that was my motto when I first started this journey. Like, if you guys don't know me, go check out my YouTube and start from the very beginning. The very beginning is a video of me sitting at the beach, and I was supposed to be at work, but my spirit told me to sit at the beach. And that whole summer, the universe took care of me. You are a entrepreneur, and your cup is going to be overflowing. They said, stand in your power.